Amen. So, first question I get asked often,
Hmm.
and I'm just gonna relay it to you all, and then I may answer, but my viewers have probably heard my answer before. Um, is 2024 a good time to buy in the Charlotte region?
Ladies first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The reason I say it is because, as you all know, if you've been watching, the rates have already gone down and they're predicted to continue to go down. People are excited. So you have buyers that have been kind of on the fence. They're ready to start moving, which
Hmm.
means that you have sellers that are going to, be comfortable with putting their homes on the market because they too will have places that they can actually purchase,
Yep.
homes actually that they can purchase because the rates are going down. So the competition is going to ramp up.
It's I've seen it ramp up in the past two
Hmm.
weeks. Like we're what, the 17th, 18th right now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I would say as soon as that new year hit, actually even started in December a little bit because rates started coming down.
Hmm.
It's been quite active.
Oh
It
yeah.
is.
Oh yeah. In
It is.
fact, one of the listing that I have, um, I had multiple offers on that, so we're still seeing multiple offers,
Hmm.
so 2024 definitely it's going to be a hot year.
Say that again. Multiple
It's going to
offers.
be a hot year, multiple offers.
And
Yes.
if you don't mind, what was the general price point for that general price range for that property?
So that was in the high 200s.
Okay, perfect,
Mhm.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right,
Yeah.
Sean. Same question. What do you think
Yeah,
about his?
man. I'm a piggyback on Tijuana here, man. Like
Mhm.
the market is definitely hot. I mean, as you both know, man. Like I've been picking up. There's two things that I noticed. After the rates start to shift down some, people thought that the rates were high at 8%. I always direct them to go back and look at the 30-year trend and see what rates really truly were. Now, Tijuana, you've been an agent, much longer than I have, and you know already what the rates used to be.
Mhm.
They have been as high as 18%, in the
Yes.
last 30 years. So when people tell me, man, the rates are high, now listen, granted, housing prices were lower back then, right? But looking at an 8% interest rate and now back into the sixes, these are not high. I remember I bought my first home back in 99, getting out of the Marine Corps. And I remember my lender called me to tell me, hey, you better run and lock in your rate. And I was running to lock in a 6.5% rate. Like,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I was
yeah,
running to lock that thing in. Okay. So now people looking at 6.5 and they're like, oh my
yeah.
God, the rates are high. And I'm like, not necessarily, because
No.
I just actually helped a seller that's been in her home now for, gosh, almost 30 years. She had a 12% rate. Okay, so
Wow.
she's looking at this 6.5 where we are right now, and she's like, "Man, if you don't get me that 6.5,
Exactly. Give me that 6.5 right
give
now.
me
What are you
that.
talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
give
yeah,
me
Mhm.
that, man." And
yeah,
speaking
yeah.
of the Charlotte market, like, is it a good time to buy a home? Yes. Zillow actually put out a report last week that said, man, that of the top 10 metros
I
in
knew
the
you were gonna
U.S.,
bring this one up.
you
I
know
knew
I
you
was
were
gonna
gonna bring
bring
it
it
up.
up,
You
man,
beat
because
me
I
to it.
after
You
the
beat me to
comment,
it.
let's go, baby. Listen, number
Yeah.
7. Okay, Charlotte
Yep.
is ranked number 7 for hottest markets in the U.S. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, listen, we've got low inventory. Builders are giving away great incentives right
Yes,
now.
they are.
Okay, yes, it is a good time to buy a home in the Charlotte metro because you can will and deal right now. Like
Right
Tijuana
now.
said, that
Right
as the
now.
rates continue to come down, it's going to get more competitive. And you never know what's going to happen, man. It could be ugly, it could be pretty, depending on what side of the ball and coin you're on. So very
I
excited.
say no. I'm very excited as well
Mhm.
because it's gonna do what I'm seeing already is gonna do two things. One, allow people who felt like they were priced out the past year and a half, be able to get a home. Um,
Mhm.
if the caveat is if they act faster sooner than later,
Right.
Mhm.
because what we're seeing is what in the past 2 weeks there's been a 10% increase in mortgage applications. So because as rates come down, and right now they're around 6.8, which is
Mhm.
much better than the 8.25 people were seeing, because eight
Mhm.
was like if you had good credit. And most people were getting higher than that.
Mhm.
Um, that makes a big difference in your monthly payment. We're talking $200-$300. So more people are coming to the market to buy. But my fear is that some people, especially, I'm always concerned about the ones on the fringes. My clients that are well off, they're step up buyers, move up buyers. They're not as concerned. I'm not as concerned about them because they have the funds. They're going to get the home that they want. Right. The ones I'm concerned with are the ones that have been diligently saving for that down payment, for those things that can get into a home that's like $350 or I say $425 or below. If you wait, you might miss your opportunity.
That's right.
And that's my concern, or at least opportunity for, and we're going to talk about the greater Charlotte region, but opportunity for homes that are closer to Charlotte, or if not in Charlotte. There's some new construction. Like I just looked up, I sent some to some clients yesterday, under 4 in Charlotte.
Yep.
If you wait, you're going to be further and further out. And I'm not saying those places further out are bad. It just may not be as convenient to get to uptown if you're working uptown.
Right.
You know, to that point, man, when I deal with people that are moving from out of state, for example, right? You know, listen, I help a lot of people move down from New York. And when I visit New York anyway, if I go to Atlanta, if I go to, you know, California, Miami, wherever, traffic's horrible, right? So people coming from different places are used to being in traffic, you know, for an hour to go to work and an hour to come home. I mean, I've heard stuff like, oh, it takes me 2 hours to get to work, right?
I would say 2.5 hours. Yeah,
I mean, that's insane, right? To think about that when I grew up here in Charlotte. So when you say outskirts here, he's not telling you that you've got to drive 2 hours to get, you know, a sub 400 price point on a new home, mind you, too, a new construction, right? He's talking about maybe you're driving 35, 45 minutes, 50 minutes at worst, and that is to get back into uptown Charlotte. The New Yorkers and people moving from out of state, they understand that. They don't care. They see those large lots. They see that price point. And they're like, man, let me get that. It's the people that I grew up with here in Charlotte that are like, no, I'm not going out there, Sean. You're crazy. And I'm like, you don't know what you're missing. So you got a point there. Yeah, go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's always easier to sell to us New Yorkers because our homes there are much smaller. You don't have the closet space and you definitely don't have the land. So definitely come here and get way more for your money, you know, and you understand it. We see it. We appreciate it. So it's an easier sale, you know, when you are selling to people from, you know, New York and other places, California, you know?
Yes.